Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, November 16th, 2025. This is number 183 in the series of call-ins as we discuss our beloved sport of boxing on this show. We're coming out of a weekend of a ton of fights once again, with yet and still more higher profile fights on the way, en route, going into next weekend. So we'll get a chance to talk a little bit about all of that as we rise early for this show. Listen, I've already shared in the chat that I'd like you guys to join Stormybman's other platform, Rumble, where I will be multi-streaming content from what's on this channel and my other channels as well, sharing it to Rumble, where we'll have opportunities to be a little bit more open with our content. And I encourage you all to exercise the options that'll be at your fingertips. This is why we'll be doing that, so that we can have the opportunity to share with you all to the fullest, where we won't be restricted as much. See, when you have options, you need to exercise them. So that's what we'll be doing here. Good morning, everyone out there. I hope that you have awakened in your right frame of mind and good health. My health is on the borderline. I'm dealing with some issues, but I'm pushing through. I'm persevering. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the full 2 hours this morning because I'm just feeling a little bit under the weather, you guys. But I'm here still to kick it off, and hopefully someone else will be able to pick up that baton and carry it forward. But just know that I'm doing the best that I can with this, and there's a lot of excitement and anticipation and hope to do the best that we can out here with this show. Yeah. Please smash that like button as you come into the building. I see we only have a few people that have written in the chat thus far, so I will do a roll call once we have a few more numbers coming to the building. But I did pin that link for the Rumble up there at the top of the chat. Rumble is an outstanding platform. I actually signed up for it a year ago, but hadn't exercised the opportunity to do anything over there yet until I was squeezed here by YouTube most recently. And so, again, that's where my consideration for this has come from. And given that I started my other channels, the Temple of Kung Fu and Entertainment, the Temple of Culture and Entertainment, listen, they have both shown me that I am under the policing of certain individuals out there that work for Google and YouTube. Though YouTube tries to say that they don't have people who are doing the unethical. When I inquired about the ethical practices, they tried to tell me that they do not disclose how things are done. Well, quite openly, we can see how things are done. We have a leader of our community who should have been well over 100,000 subs a couple of years back, and they have kept him around the same number for the past couple of years. And even though that has been the case, his numbers as far as viewership and when he produces content are way up, but it's not reflected in the subs, just like mine are not reflective in my subs. Do you realize now that Stormybman's channel has over 2 million views? 2 million people. I have the documentation that will share that, as I have signed up for an app that monitors my progress on my channel. And for 2 million views, only 6,000 subs, the number don't add up, people. It don't add up. So this is what it is. We're dealing with it. And that's why, to be able to go to a place like Rumble and take in consideration, that's what's up. Let's see, we got Wings over there. You know, I forget who your other name is being on the Rumble. So if you guys pop up into Rumble and your name is different from what it is on YouTube, just, you know, make sure you let me know what that is. And salute to my brother EJ in the building, a staunch supporter of the community. We appreciate people like him because that's what's going to help keep us pressing forward. Yeah. So, I tell you, as I looked at the numbers for yesterday's broadcast of Ben Eubank Jr. 2, or Eubank Jr. 2, Ben, whatever, you know, names first or last or whatever, that promotion ran almost 7 hours, 6 hours and almost 50 minutes. That's a lot of fare for someone viewing boxing. And just know that when you have something going like that, what it's saying is it's a full program to get people to enjoy the event. And it did turn out to be quite an interesting card, intriguing with the action and exciting with the main events. Ring walk entrances, oh man, that was top of the line stuff right there. One thing about the UK is they will set it out right for their fighters and promote them as stars. Sometimes to the degree that promoting them as stars is more important than promoting them as being great fighters. I believe everything has its place, and as long as you can establish them as great fighters first, I don't see a problem with promoting them as stars. But you know what it is? For a small country like that, it's like they want their people to be entertained and to be engaged and have something to aspire toward. I can understand that. I can truly understand that. And such is the case with what transpired yesterday with Unfinished Business. Ben and Eubank Jr. put on a show. Conor Ben actually put on a great show where he came out measured and determined and focused to improve upon his performance from the first fight. What was it, 7 months ago? Great stuff. Eubank Jr. came out flat. I do believe he was depleted by the weight loss and the rehydration situation, though he didn't make an issue of it, which is good for him because he accepted the terms because he wanted that bread. You know what I'm saying? You have to sacrifice sometimes. You got to bring it to get it, huh? And so he brought it and he got it. Yeah! So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So let's see who we got in the building. I'll do a roll call now and we can go from here. Over on Rumble, EJ saying Miguel and Jerome are a bunch of sellout and keep on trying to disrupt a content creator creativity and originality, trying to call it copyright material. Yeah, forget them for the foolishness. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, where have you seen me, you know, not being original? I'm always original over here, from my designs, from my my effects, even my music selections. All original stuff, man. The music according to what YouTube's bylines will allow. So that being said, we're gonna go out there, see who we got in the chat. Stephen L is out there early. He said he's at the laundromat. Great timing. What's good, man? Appreciate you. Universal is in the building again, saying salute, Sensei. Ravens Nation is out there saying good morning. B Mac, what's good with you? Says salute, Stormy B Man. Ratchet since 91 is in the building. What's going on with you? Says salute, Stormy. Coach Hudson in the building. Salute. EJ is out there doing double duty. And see here, who else we got? You guys are saluting one another, which is cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, buddy. one thing about the Rumble, I went over there and I'm looking at the screen and it's like, man, that's razor sharp, crystal clear broadcasting over there, man. Gotta admit. Yep. I can see all of the age wrinkles in my face. Like, hey, yeah, makeup, you know. Yeah. Del Rib is out there saying, salute, Stormy. I missed the fights last night. Been getting sleep from feeling under the weather. Hey, man, you got to take care of yourself, brother. That's why I'm talking about today. I might not be on for my full length of time because I'm kind of dragging this morning, so having some health issues myself. But yeah, wishing you good health there, Del Riv. Wishing you good health. So going over the fight card from yesterday. The card opened up with a number of fights around the divisions, from flyweight through, super lightweight, welterweight, and super welterweight, even middleweight and heavyweight. So we were kind of spread across the field of boxing with yesterday's cards. Mikey Talon kicked things off, taking on Fazan Shahid in a fight that was scheduled for 6 rounds. And Shahid was stopped in the 5th from an uppercut. And that was that. Those guys were flyweights. And Mikey came into that fight with the undefeated record of 9-0. But he looked like a clean-cut kid that was ready to step forward, and he did exactly that. Though his opponent had a record of 4-1 with 2 draws going in, and he got stopped in that fight, so it is what it is. We saw the heavyweights kick off, where former cruiserweight contender Richard Riakport was out there taking on Tommy Welch. And Riakport is a big guy. He's like 6'6" and built like Frank Bruno used to be built, just muscles on muscles. How that guy was at cruiserweight, I don't know. I say he's built like an action figure, but that's going to cause him some trouble going forward, because the good heavyweights are limber, lean, can move. When you carry so much muscle mass like that, it can slow you down, and you won't necessarily be as loose and limber as a lot of the other guys. And I can see where he's going to be very limited, especially at 35, 36 years old. He spent so much time down there at cruiserweight. And also consider the fact that he lost to Chris Billum Smith at cruiserweight. And if he couldn't handle Chris Billum, and this is not a knock against Billum, but Billum is a more limited fighter at cruiserweight, and he lost to Zurdo Ramirez, So I kind of fear that Riakport is going to be a guy, you can market him on his appearance or whatever, but fighting a lot of Tommy Welch's is not going to do him much justice. He had Welch down 3 times in the second round. As soon as he hit him upside the head, the guy seemed to lose his equilibrium, and he couldn't stay on his feet after that. But Welch looked a lot smaller than he, so it is what it is. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the building. What's good with you? Says, good morning, Stormy B, man. Been a minute since watching your call-in show. Yeah, you been out there trolling all the other brothers and getting into it with them and stuff. What's up with that, Mojave? Since you had that latest birthday, and in fact, you one of them guys that 78 says got 2-3 birthdays in a year, because, you know, every time we turn around, you saying it's your birthday. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, you been out there, huh? Causing trouble, starting bonfires and everything. All that tells me, Abel, is you're growing into your manhood. And you feel like you got to establish your ground. Much respect to you. Yeah, man. Abel said, I ain't taking no shit from nobody no more. Salute. Yeah, man. I be listening to him out there. He be arguing with folks and talking about what he gonna do to him and stuff. I was like, wait a minute. A couple of years ago, this brother was like, hi, Mr. So-and-so. How you doing? Now he is like, you mother. Abel is like out there, he fighting back. He's like, I'm gonna whoop all y'all. I be laughing and watching, man. It's like, you know, it'd be funny to me. He get on the panel and first thing he telling somebody is, first of all, let me say something to so-and-so. I'm like, damn, he couldn't wait to get out of the gate and unleash. I'm like, damn. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's why y'all laughing in the chat. Abel come out there, man. He be going off on folks. He get out there, hey, this is Abel, y'all. If he jump on the panel and, you know, say like Drew or 78, somebody open up their panel, he go Abel.
Man, this is some bullshit.
He jumps out there. Yeah. Hey, you gotta respect the man that stand up for his damn self. You know what I mean? You ain't pushing me around. Shit. He come out there in the morning. He like, hey, he be after Junior and everybody. I be like, damn. Stormy B, man. Listen. Hey, Stormy B, man, be out there watching. I be like, hey. That's why when I open up my panel, if Abel's out there, I'll be like, no, but it's all good, man. I'm glad. I got a chance to meet Abel out there at the meet and greet in Vegas, man. He's a cool young man. Glad to see him out there. He's growing up. And that's good stuff, though. But yeah, see, that's what, hey, listen. You know what I say? Remember, I talked about the haters and everybody that be trying to come at the LDBC, right? This is why I play this one right here for y'all.
Was an informer for the police.
Yep. That's how you handle that. Huh? That's what's up. Man, let me see if I can push this back. Yeah, okay, I can push it back like it was. I got the sun coming in my window on a different angle today. It's like, usually it's on a different side. I guess because we're in the autumn now. It's like sunlight comes through on a different angle, so I have to position my camera a certain kind of way and everything. Jimmy Bernard, I see you out there. What's good? Hey, for any of you that's out there in the chat presently that haven't signed up to follow me on Rumble, I put the link, I pinned it at the top of the chat. Please do so, because we're trying to grow the audience over at Rumble, because sometimes I'm going to go live on Rumble and it won't be on YouTube. That way I could play my music that I want to play and things like that. So I'm trying to build that channel up with the viewing audience. Snoopy Mac is over there right now. I see you over there, Snoopy Mac. Appreciate you. Yeah. Snoopy Mac just started following just a few minutes ago. Appreciate that. Yeah. He says you sound clearer on Rumble. Yeah, you know why? Because that's pure over there. These people be messing with us over here, brother. I'm telling you. If you saw my sound, this microphone I got right here, dude, this is a Blue Yeti, man. This is like, I actually have a soundboard and everything that you could play with the audio. What do you call it? Sound effects and all of that stuff. Like you see what Champ Side be doing and stuff, or what he used to do, because he doesn't do it too much anymore. A lot of people start following that after him, which was a great lead in, because he started that stuff off, and I salute that brother for his creativity. But yeah, YouTube interferes with a lot, bro. They interfere. We tell you guys this, and y'all probably think that we just be talking about them like pointing fingers or something. But no, man, they are really at us. And as I was talking to one of the brothers behind the scene recently, I realized what they managed to do. You remember a few years ago when COVID struck, right? And everybody was on lockdown. There were certain content creators at that time who were following boxing and had built their programs on boxing. Well, when they didn't have the access to the fighters to go to their camps and interview them and everything that they had that we didn't necessarily have access to, they were crying. Certain people like myself, I had a boxing show every week during COVID. I could talk boxing still. I had the 3 Wise Men of Boxing. I had my Tuesday Tussle, and I had my Friday Night Chop Session. I never missed a beat during that process. There were people who shut down. There were people who were upset and mad. Some of those more known people, like that woman, I won't mention her name, and that other dude that Deontay snapped on, they were out there and they were fumbling, trying to get the access. To the degree that they moved over to the UK to be closer to those guys over there. It's a smaller situation, but there are more fighters that they can have access to freely. Well, when things began to turn around and come back, some of them started doing individual YouTube channels and stuff like that. So Google, YouTube, decided to shift the algorithms and push everything toward those guys. Even though more than half of them don't know what we know, don't have as the creativity that we have or anything, and their numbers. How do you go from, you start your channel and you go from a few hundred subs to within a year, you over 100,000 subs and everything, getting a plaque and all of that stuff. And it's like, come on, man, we got people who've been out here for years doing this. And we tell you constantly, share our content or whatever, because it's not, man, unless you watching fights on DAZN or you watch UK content, you guys don't know who Ade Oladipo is. You guys don't know who, what's that guy name? The Irish dude? I forget his name. He's always collaborating with Ade. You don't know those guys. But they hundreds of thousands of subs, or 50 or 60, 80,000 subs after just creating a channel. And they basically get on the camera and just be talking their opinions. So we get bypassed for those people. Unless there's a movement by the people. You guys remember CeCe Robinson? Salute to her. You remember how she grew? She grew because she brought something to the platform that a lot of people enjoyed and were interested in. See, that type of support right there is natural, it's organic, and that's how a person can blow up. You see? But it wasn't meant for us or her to be able to do that. But that's the thing they can't control. Why you think we're always telling you guys, share the content, like it, hit the like button. Even if you can't stay for a live or whatever, hit the like. When I created my Kung Fu channel, I had almost 200 subs in like a couple of months, 2 months. The people that like that content over there, they know I do the boxing content too. So when they watch my boxing content, why am I not seeing their viewership? Because it's being shadow banned. I was doing Kung Fu Film Focus before I did the channel. Some of my Kung Fu Films Focus joints got 16, 20, 30,000 views. Where are my 30,000 views for any of my boxing content on YouTube? Not one. But every time I do a post-fight show, it's at least a minimum of a couple of hundred views. So they know I'm there. They know it. But they block me in the algorithm. Because if Stormybman, lo and behold, happen to get out there and is giving you this reel, damn, those guys that I just mentioned a little while ago, they will go by the wayside. You know why? Because they don't know what I know. They don't have the knowledge that I have. And sometimes it's just how this world works. You got to be a part of a cabal to have any success at all. I'm not selling out. I haven't purchased one subscriber, not one. Yet and still, every few months, I get these emails in my inbox that tells me, oh, we've been watching your channel and we feel that we can help you grow your channel. All you got to do is hit us back and we can discuss this and that and whatever and help you grow. Really? Huh? In other words, I can't grow without you. Huh? Is that what you're telling me? And you want me to have a communication with you so you could tell me, you know, you got some great ideas there, but how about you talk about these guys over here a little bit more? Not so much those guys over there. Why don't you talk about this a little bit more and kind of leave that off the table? Then my channel is not my channel anymore, is it? And I've saved each and every email. I've had about 8 of them now. They thought when they took the monetization, I would just roll up and die like, you know, a damn locust or something. No. I tripled down. I'm producing 3 times as much content presently than when they took my monetization. And I'm saying what I'm saying live on the air. You know why? Because it's the fucking truth. If I were lying to you, I wouldn't be able to stand on any merit because I have to come back and make shit up to substantiate what I put out. But what I put out is real shit. $2 million views to my channel, but 6,000 subscribers. Some of them guys who got 50,000 subs or more don't even have a fucking million views. That shit don't add up, family. Just look at my simple graphics that I got on the screen here. You see this? I did all of this. And it takes time to put it together. You know how Drew does his animations and stuff with the memes and stuff? He's gotten really good at that. He might be the best at it. But what I do here took time, took effort. I went to school for graphic arts, so I know how to lay out and design stuff. Early on, when I was doing some initial stuff, there was one of these content creators out here, and you guys know him. He stole the idea of how I had a layout. I was sub to him. I used to watch his content. This was several years ago. I'd be driving home from work, he'd be on. He's not on like that now, or if he is, I don't know because I don't follow him anymore. And I happen to look at his layout and his design. I'm like, shit, that's awfully familiar. How he's sitting there in the screen and he got his thing and he's sitting up there talking his talk and everything. I was like, man, I was like, damn. And I have written in his chat, even sent a couple of super chats. He never acknowledged me. That's how I knew he was a band. You understand? So what I did after I saw him in that setup, I went on my next live. I don't remember if it was Tuesday Tussle, whatever it was, but I mentioned it on my live. I said, you got these suckers out here imitating what I've done with their layouts and stuff and everything, but they won't even acknowledge you. You could send them a super chat and everything. They won't even read it on the air. They act like they don't see you and this and that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I see what you're doing. You copycat. Now that was copying, right? I go to work the next day. I'm driving home. I tune into his channel. He done switched his whole thing up. He switched it up. How is that, people? You know why he switched it up? He switched it up because he heard my live stream talking about him without mentioning his name. And if anybody that watched me and they watch him, they can see it. That's why he's a ban. And some of you guys know him and you are out there following him still. And that's fine, because you can follow whoever you want to follow. But I only mess with real people, man. Real people have flaws, and the flaws are right on their lapel. You understand? They're not hidden and buried, huh? It's like, hey, you will mess up, you spell stuff wrong, or you say things incorrectly, or you have information that you have to go back and correct, or whatever. That's normal. But this whole thing of masking like you don't make no mistakes and all of that, what the hell is that bullshit? And you got these folks that come up to you, brother. They ain't no damn brother. They bands too. My ratio is the same as well. It's like a 70-30 ratio. 70% viewership, 30% support. Right now, I'm looking at 28 likes on YouTube, but 71 views. That's very consistent. You mean to tell me that you got 70 people out there, but only about 30 of them will support what I'm doing and saying and everything? What the fuck are you here for then? That ratio should be 71 views, 68, 65 likes. This goes to show you what I'm saying is true. They out here watching, looking for talking points, looking for something that they can steal like a fucking raccoon and run off into the dark as if they've really done something to create. I've never had a problem being able to speak on camera. And I'm not talking about showing my face on camera. I'm talking about getting on the platform and doing my content. But there are people out here that lack creativity. Do you understand that they be out here and they be gathering shit? Why some of these people who have channels that grown? Because they do reaction videos. Oh, I'm going to react to him. I'm going to react to this. I'm going to react to that. Why you can't just create something? I had MFs trying to steal my content, shows that I had done with other people and everything. And guess what I did? I started creating even more shows. I got about 3 or 4 shows that I haven't even put out yet. I had collaborations that I was doing with people from other countries, and they turned on me because of a fighter that I criticized that has tremendous flaws. You turn your back on me. You start trying to diss me on video. When my content has been consistent across the board. In other words, I can say anything about anybody but except for the guy that you love. Fuck you. Because I'm going to critique fighters, great and small. I'll critique them all. I don't love Conor Ben. I've talked about him being a drug cheat, have done several videos on that young man. But I gave him credit for his victory yesterday. So you got to take your hat off to Conor. He made some adjustments. He came out there. Eubank Jr. looked flat. I said it. But he was victorious. That's a salute. I used to coach fighters, train them. Not on the professional level, but I worked with some pros that were in the gym where I was working with people, amateurs. I know how to critique, and my critiques be harsh because you know why? I want to draw the best out of them. I want to pull something out of a fighter and make them be the best that they can be. And when it's not in them, I'll say it. You need to find something else. Salute to Queens of Boxing Talk when they say, oh, he need a job. Yeah, I think you need to go get a job, homie. Get a fucking job. Salute to the brother, Mr. Shelton, out there with the Cash App. He says, for the cook. We appreciate you, Mr. Shelton. You're another one that be out there supporting the community all through, man. All through. All the brothers and sisters that create content, you be right there supporting, man. And always have been. And we appreciate you. See, there's some people that they don't know how to be true. You have to teach people how to treat you, huh? And they go out there and they do these things that I'm talking about. And you have to say it. Let me go back. I had a couple of people that came into the building that I wasn't able to acknowledge because I was talking. Jimmy Bernard is out there. Jamal Davis in the building. Tay-Tay, the real queen of MMA and Combat Talk. What's good with you, Tay-Tay? Angel Diaz in the building. That's just like this call-in show. I didn't do this because I was just trying to jump on a bandwagon. I was trying to create something that give people a little more access to me and be able to communicate and everything. And the brother Drew Titan is the one that suggested, hey, Stormy, that's it right there. That's what you should do. I didn't even really want to do it. And Drew will tell you, he's the one that was like, man, you got to do that, Stormy. I was like, shh, man, these people, I don't care about that. I forgot to put the damn call-in number up on the screen. Black Martial Arts Society, salute to you, bro. Good to see you out there this morning. Good morning to you. Yep. That was me testing the line. The line is active and alive, so we taking calls now. If somebody want to talk about fights yesterday, call lines are open. Nada 88 is out there. 86, excuse me. What's good? In the Rumble app. I'm watching you over there on Rumble. DP Rocker, what's good? Where you been, man? Huh? Missing class. F plus. Huh? Where you been? And don't tell me, you was sick or you had to go and help some family out and all of that or whatever. The dog ate my homework. For those who are interested, the later fights last night, Espinoza versus Kagai, the WBO featherweight title fight that took place. Kagai is a guy that's from the Ukraine and is training out of, what was his name? Freddie Roach's former assistant coach, that Filipino gentleman, I can't remember his name. He started his own gym, also did some work with Roach and Manny Pacquiao. He trained this guy, Arnold Kagai, who actually gave a stellar effort. It was just that the height and reach of Espinoza was hard for him to negotiate, but he hung in there better with Espinoza than a lot of the fighters that have contended to fight him, so including Robeisy Ramirez. So I mean, it just goes to show when fighters, when you got guys that are decent fighters, man, they could be out there, they could do some things, they could get the job done as long as they are trained. And this guy comes from a different sport. I think he comes from MMA or kickboxing or something. Espinoza's got this Sebastian Fundora factor going on for him. He's very tall at the weight. He's strong, but most of the guys who are at that featherweight division are anywhere between 5'4" and 5'9", and he's 6'1". So it's like he's going to be able to play keep away and keep you at bay for a long time. So it's like, but he gets hit clean. When people are able to throw the shots, they hit him clean. Kagai hit him clean all night. Salute to Angel Diaz. He says, Boo Boy, I think his name is Stormy. No, Boo Boy is the fat guy that used to be with Roach and Manny. That Boo Boy is the fat guy. It's a slender with a short haircut Filipino guy that's in Kagai's Corner from last night. That guy used to be a part of Freddie Roach's gym too. I thought that Boo Boy was the fat dude. Boxing fans times 4 is in the building. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast says, you'd be surprised how much people like to tap into your boxing IQ. Unfortunately, people like to be lazy, intellectually lazy. You know what? It's not even the fact of being intellectually lazy, Mahari Nation Sports Podcast, because first of all, you can kind of come and listen to what I'm saying, but understand, you might grab the surface of what's been said and try to take that and run away with it, but I have layers of depth of what I say and why I say. I can say certain things to just explain something away. However, the depth and breadth of what I say and call forth is the unknown, that it's an intangible that they can't fathom that. That's why what I say is not fake. You understand? If you notice, when I've been on with Drew Titan, on the nights that he's had professional fighters, trainers, former world champions and such, and we have these conversations, you know why it always goes well? It's because I speak the same language that they do. You understand? I'm never stumped. I'm never in awe by the fighters, never in awe by the trainers. There is a parity there. There's something being on an equilibrium of a foundation that we all stand upon. There are certain fighters I can have a certain conversation with and rip them to pieces because they're very shallow and they fight like it. They reflect it in their actions. They reflect it in how they deal with matters. Yeah. So they can try to steal talking points and everything, but go ahead and ask them some questions of depth and get further and deeper into what that topic is or whatever, and they're let me get back to you. Not me. Angel Diaz says, Stormy, I haven't been 120 pounds since high school. Well, hey, I think when I was a senior in high school, I was like 186, 187 pounds as a senior. Those was the good old days as far as the weight. My weight now, 2+. I would like to be 20 pounds lighter though. But I just want to wake up and it be gone, the 20 pounds. I don't want to work for it. I don't want to work for it. I wish that I could wake up tomorrow and look at that scale and be like, oh my goodness, what happened? Let me go celebrate. Let me get a hamburger. Shit. I tell you, man, it's something else. Life. Huh? That's like, people were saying from last night's fight, yesterday's fight, that Eubank Jr. looked shot. A fighter being shot is a real definitive term for a fighter that's kind of like on the outs. And I noticed that some of these people that have authoritative platforms where they could speak things out and they say certain things about fighters, and it's inappropriate and incorrect, because just because you use that term to apply it to something that you're seeing doesn't mean that that's evident or it's even a fact. A little over a week ago, when Virgil Ortiz Jr. stopped Erickson Lubin, people were saying that Lubin was shot. Lubin's not shot. He's not shot. It's possible he could be chinny. It's possible that he might even be fighting at a division where he's really not strong enough. Because as far as I can remember, Lubin has been a career-long 154-pounder, right? What if Lubin was actually a 147-pounder? Now, it's too late to try to do that now. There has been a fighter or two who started their career off fighting heavier weights and decided to drop down and have had better success. But I'm not suggesting that for Lubin. I'm just saying that there's a slight possibility that he was never a real true 154-pounder. But it may have been very convenient to make 154 as opposed to 147. Because at 147, you're disciplining your body to a degree to perform at its optimum, but at the same time, it requires certain sacrifices. In the sport of today, people are trying to drain down to as small a weight as they can get to so they can have success and advantages, because rehydration means that you can be fighting a guy at that weight class, but you're much bigger than that weight class. That can catch up to you as well. Okay, we got 651. That's my man, Abel, out there. What's good with you, man? Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the comments from earlier today about the fact that I always have something to say and always will be defending myself when necessary. And yes, I do provoke some little friendly confrontations here and there, because the fact is, I'm always the type of dude that, listen, I'm never going to forget what you done said and what you done roasted me for. Now I got ammunition now. I got ammunition to get on your real weak ass.
I hear you, man. I hear you. That what I was saying is basically a compliment to you because I've watched your growth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I find it humorous too because sometimes you come out swinging, man. I just be like, oh shit, look at this. But it's all good, you know. It's all good.
I appreciate it, especially all the years when you were a youngster and you was like the kid, like, okay, I gotta be cool, you know, be humble and all that, and then they basically sit around here like, man, look at this square dude, bro. Let me get on this real weekend. Now I got a little bit of grays on my hairline now. I'm like, okay, now it's time to get on you all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
what's up.
appreciate the sentiments. I really do.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man. You know, the one thing about me is I can always tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes even when it hurts feelings or whatever, you know. But and also I'm a person I can give people credit for things as well. My comments were mostly rooted in the fact that I've seen your growth. You know.
I appreciate it.
And that's something that you'll find there's a lot of people they'll have difficulty with that. You know, I don't have difficulty with that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Especially when they don't know how to take some humor and then try to twist it and try to throw it back. You know, that's what I'm harnessing and mastering at this time. Yeah, I can accept the humor, but are you prepared to take the blow back?
Yeah. You know,
that's where I draw the line.
One of the things, you know, and I was trying to kind of tie that into my comments earlier of, you know, people coming to my channel and watching my content, but the fact that YouTube and Google did not giving me the credit for what my channel produces. Like I said before, how in the hell can I have 2 million views to my channel but only 6,000 subs? That doesn't equate in no mathematicians algorithms does that equate at all. I'm being shadow banned. Right now, I have over 100 and something views to this channel, but only 35 likes. In order for me to have over 100 people, that means these are people who know who I am, know that, you know, this time on Sundays, I'm here doing what I do, but only 30 out of that 100 are here to support me. You couldn't make 80 plus people view something that they don't want to watch.
Exactly.
It just won't happen. We saw that as an example, getting into my nerds thing here with James Gunn's Superman. He put that movie in the theaters this summer when people, they didn't want that. They wanted Henry Cavill back. And he basically told the people, F you, I'm going to do this my way and everything. And the box office receipts showed that they didn't want that. Even though DC and Warner Brothers tried to lie and say, hey, we did good or whatever. It turns out that they didn't make any money. They lost money. And the whole point of that is because he was trying to thumb his nose at what people liked, and he felt like he could just impose something on them. Dude, we're the ones who buy the tickets. When that brother, Harsh Critics, started that hashtag wallets closed, that was a good thing because it's a great way to look at things. When your wallets closed, TVs turned off. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not going to be watching or tuning into something that you don't like or don't have an interest in. But you're telling me only 35 people out of 110, 120 people that watch my show right now, today, only 35 people are here to support me. Well, then there should only be 36 or 37 people or maybe 40 watching. You see? But this is what they do. And then they play with you and they try to tell you, oh, well, like I said, I receive emails. These people coming at me talking about, oh, we've been watching your channel and we feel that you make good content, but I feel like we can help you grow. Just give us a call back and this and that, and we can talk about how to make your channel get bigger and better, and we can get you more, views and subs and this and that. I'm like, yeah, so you could tell me what to do, how to do, whenever, and this and that, and don't talk about these people and don't talk about that subject and this and that, and then you controlling me. It's no longer my channel, is it? That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it on this air today because I want people to understand. This is the truth that I've shared with you. This is not fake. It's real. And they've managed to take the viewership, because remember, they talk algorithms. This channel here is it's my boxing channel primarily. Although I've created other content that has been shown over the years on this. That's why I did my other 2 channels, so I could transfer stuff over to there exclusively. But you mean to tell me that my views and my real support, it goes into a certain algorithm because I'm talking boxing here. So you're going to give my stuff to people like those other folks that I named and gave examples of, so they can grow and get 100,000 and get their plaques and all of that. In the meantime, you keep me suppressed and I'm down and I don't have that type of, according to what you could see, I don't have that type of audience. That's fake, bro. That's like wearing somebody else's skin. You understand? It's a mask. You coming out there, you're showing me something that's not real. It's not really me, but it's representative of me. That's the stolen content. That's the reused content.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know something, Stormybman? That actually ties into something, because I want to get to my boxing take in just a second. But there was another channel that I actually genuinely support. The basketball channel. It's not LDBC, but he's actually a very good basketball content creator, and he actually does some good stuff on TikTok. But you want to know the messed up part is, I actually found another channel that actually intentionally steals his content off of TikTok, and it reuses that content for his channel. And I'm looking at him like, bro, why are you stealing another person's content and work and then reusing it as your own content? I'm sure you see, don't me, man. You go to do that many times before with your stuff too. And I posted in the comment section and then also wrote a complaint to YouTube like, bro, you are stealing the man's content and you're trying to claim it as your own because you don't like the guy. That's the dumbest, pettiest nonsense I've ever seen in my life. But a lot of people are like that. They're just intellectually lazy to the fact that you don't want to make your own content, but you want to create somebody else's content. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Listen, it's a lot of stuff happening, It's a lot of stuff happening. But why do you think that we're always trying to tell our supporters? Because we can't worry about those who don't support. But we're trying to remind people. It's like somebody in this chat right now. There's someone in my chat right now that has not hit my like button yet. But you're here. You may even have a wrench. And I don't want to hear that bullshit about, oh, I forgot. That should be the first thing you do when you come in. Because if you understand our plight and what we deal with, that we talk about all the time, and you say that you support us, that should be the first thing that you do. Not because I demand it of you, because if you're a supporter, you should want the best for my channel. You should want other people to see this too. You want people to have a like-mindedness that you have. The reason that you're here, you want someone else to have that same feeling. How many times have you experienced something great and you shared it with someone else because you want them to have the same experience? I don't care if it's you went to see a movie or you went to a place to dine, or if you just went to a place where, it was a place of exploration. You look at it and you like, man, I went over here. I had the damnedest time. Man, you should go. Right? That's support.
Mm-hmm.
Hendog says, your like just went up as soon as you said that. Of course it did, because it's like I said before. But we say this every day. Listen, we got a couple of brothers who do channels every day, right? You got 78, you got Drew, BFTB. Just those three alone. I don't have to name everybody that does it. But all three of those guys do a live every single day. Guess what? When I go to their channels, first thing I do is hit the like button. Before writing in the chat, I hit the like button. And then, now that I've found an easier way to do it, my new channels, I go to those channels and I've subbed to them from those new channels. And so when I go to those channels, I can pull their name up, their live will come up, I hit the like button and write in their chat from the new channel. It took me a minute to get that shit down because I'm an older dude. I can't figure this shit so easy so quickly. But once I figured out how to do it on my phone and everything, now I do it. I hit the brothers. I give them 3 likes now from my 3 channels. And I give them 3 greetings from my 3 channels. That's 3 additional likes on the day. That's 3 additional comments on the day from, and that's support. That tweaks the algorithm. You got people that'll just come out there and click on the lives and watch and view until they talking about something you don't want to hear. Then you leave. Don't even hit the like button. Don't even write in the chat or whatever. But you were there and you could hear what's going on and everything. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying that when you come in, just because you're listening, you should like what they're talking about. That doesn't mean that. What I'm saying is if you are a supporter, I'm supposed to be able to see your support. You hear me talk about the brother EJ, always out there representing like that. Mr. Shelton, always out there. When I do my videos, my weekly premieres, Mr. Shelton is like usually the first or second person writing in my premieres saying, whatever he says, in the morning to let me know he's there. That's solid than a motherfucker, man. Because I know you watch some of my premieres, but you don't always comment on them. But if you wanted me to know that you were there, you could write in there. Just a simple comment, good video. But see, it doesn't happen. And I'm not coming down on you. I'm telling you and pointing out the reasons for our deficiencies. If we did support the way we're supposed to, dude, we could strike a serious blow in all of this madness. But it's because we don't honor, respect. Mm-hmm. We don't honor respect. This is why when you hear me throw out that term F+, I throw it out with no thought. You know why? Because for a person to put themselves in a position for me to say F+, it means that they were deficient in some manner. It ain't up for me to tell you why, but it's up for you to consider why. Raise your consciousness, raise the levels of your thought process. If you want to be in the game, you have to show that you want to play. It shouldn't just be, hey, we're going to put you in because you're on the team. No, you got to put some work in, bro. You got to roll your sleeves up. That's why in certain villages through history, the men would go out and they would conquer and they kill what they eat. And when you didn't do that, you don't eat. So you think that someone who has an appetite is not going to do their part? I don't care if you got to put the poison on the spear or the bait on the hook or whatever. You're going to do something. Dig the ditch, light the fires, get the skewers ready. Something. Not just sit back when they bring back the meal and you're like, okay, let's go. But you got a lot of people out here who live that way.
What's understood doesn't need to be addressed again.
Yeah, listen.
You're absolutely right.
Hen Dog said a moment ago, he said the likes went up when I started saying what I'm saying. Yeah, they went up almost 10 now. Almost 10 likes. But I'm not begging for likes. I'm trying to tell you why you should be hitting the like button. Because you're going to like what you're going to like in life. But if you hear, make the most of the experience by participating. Do you know half the time when I write something in the chat and say, hey, answer this, or if I speak it out over the air and say, what do you guys think about XYZ? I don't even get a damn follow-up comment until I start embarrassing somebody or something. Then they feel compelled to have to write. Dude, I don't want you if that's how you got to be. Seriously. Because you're not real. You're not true. And maybe you're a spy. Maybe you're one of those people, COINTEL. Salute to Coach Hudson, who's out there. I see you out there. You might be one of them who come around and just want to take up some information and everything. Yeah, they over here talking about that, boss. What you think? Man, if you don't get the hell out of here, you banned. Huh? Because that's what you are. You are a destructive element to the community. And I have nothing to do with you. Freedom's March, salute to you. I see you out there. You guys know that I'm not telling any lies here. I can stand on the merit of everything that I produce on this channel.
Yep. Was understood. Doesn't need to be said again. But hey, Stormybman, I do got a boxing question for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh yeah, come on. This is what we're here for. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on the Eubank and Ben fight. Now, standing job and got his victory back. But my thing that has been bothering me, I shouldn't say bothering me, that's been on my mind, is the need of rehydration clauses in boxing. I've been one of those people that has always said that rehydration clauses should be banned from boxing altogether because it really hurts the fighter from rehydrating his nutrition and his energy resources prior to the fight. And when I was watching the highlights of the fight the other night, it looked as if that Eubank was a half step slow and his timing was totally off. Now, I don't know if that had anything to do with the rehydration. Who knows? But my particular issue is, why do fighters keep accepting those rehydration clauses, and why are they even on the table in the first place? That should be the last thing that should ever be on the table. I've always been a proponent that rehydration clauses should be banned altogether. What do you think about that?
Well, this is the thing. The sanctioning bodies, the overall objective is from them is to make money off of the fighters. So if you have a belt, let's just use 147 as an example. It could be any weight except for heavyweight, because heavyweight is not a weight division where you have to make weight. But any weight class or division where you have to make weight, 147, which is welterweight. The sanctioning bodies want you to meet the divisional requirements of fighting for one of their titles at that weight. Now you have the title fight, you have the eliminator fight. Sometimes you have another intercontinental fight, which is, all of these all of these sanctioning bodies, they have intercontinental or regional titles too that fighters fight for. That's why everybody fucking carrying a belt. But what happens is when they sanction these bouts, you agree on a contracted obligation to make the weight for that title or that bout. Fighters who are basically, let's just say they are heavier than that weight class. You might be really 160 pounder and you're squeezing down to welterweight, or you could possibly be a legitimate 154 pounder, but you're squeezing down to welterweight. Or you could be a 140 pounder that's just can't make 139. You understand? And so you have to have a place to go. Now, under that sanctioning body, you go up and you compete for that title or that opportunity. Either way, your weight after being on the scale is going to balloon. Now, it comes into effect from the situation with Arturo Gatti when he fought Joey Gamache. And he came in, I think Gotti weighed 100 and what was that? When he was at 135 or 140 at that time when he faced Joey Gamache, he put on 18 pounds between
I remember that.
the day of the weigh-in and the day of the fight. And he brutalized Joey Gamache because he was so much bigger and stronger than him within 24 hours of the weigh-in. Well, Joey Gamache put in a lawsuit and everything behind that because he could have, Arturo could have killed him with the way that he launched in on him and everything. So you have this thing about where they say, okay, we'll put a restriction on how much weight you could gain within so many hours. Well, that's fine if you want to keep exclusivity and still have people fighting for these belts and everything, like yesterday with Ben and Eubank Jr., but you're still not going to get the optimum out of both fighters. You see, so what really needs to be done is, instead of the rehydration situation, the walk-around weights of fighters should be a determining factor of which division that they fight in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That should be. It's not about banning rehydration. It's about banning the opportunity for a man who is really of size, strength, and power to not have such an advantage over someone else that doesn't have the same. You know, Sebastian Fundora fights at 154, but you cannot tell me that that man can't fight at 160 or 168. You can't tell me that. And if he can't fight at 160 or 168, which is, I think that's a high impossibility, the advantages that he enjoys simply because of height and reach. That's one difficult mountain to overcome, no pun intended, with his height of 6'6", and his reach is a heavyweight's reach of at least 78 to 80 inches. I mean, most of the guys who compete at 154 are 5'11" and under. So you gonna, on top of that, tell me about he can rehydrate? Because, yeah, he'll weigh in on the scales at 154, But I'm sure that when he rehydrates, he's a good 168 minimum, or it might be even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about making these guys, you have to have a certain amount of discipline. There used to be a time when the fighters of old, they stayed within 10 or 12 pounds of fight weight. You know why? Because if they get a call and they have to do a fight even on short notice, they can still make weight easier being 10 or 12 pounds within fight weight than they would, like, you know, because you do a weight cut. And fighters, there are certain people who know how to cut their weight very well, and they can make it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you have to have some kind of discipline. Dude, we got guys who are walking around 175, 180 fighting at 135, 140. That's fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Keyshawn Davis. They were showing some of his fights on ESPN Classics, and he was in camp, and he looked like a middleweight, but he's fighting at 140. And I'm like, that's, you know, that's almost criminal, because you hitting that and you want, oh, he's a power puncher. No, he's stronger than the other guy. He's naturally bigger and everything.
Right.
But if he fighting a real middleweight, is he gonna look like that? No, because the real middleweights are bigger than that. You understand?
Absolutely.
So there are ways to tighten this all up, but you have to look at the real elephant in the room. You got guys that are competing at lower weight classes for the ability to have the advantages. I remember when I was watching, because De La Hoya is not that much younger than me. He's in his 50s now. But I remember that when I was watching him come up, you know, when he won his first world title, that WBO title, he won it at 130 pounds. I think he weighed in at 127 to 128 or something. He was really skinny because, you know, he came out of the Olympics, De La Hoya.
Right.
But when he won that first world title at the Olympic Ballroom, I think that's where it was, in Los Angeles or whatever. I think that might have been the last fight that they had there or whatever. Anyway, De La Hoya looked so gangly. He looked worse than he did when he was in the Olympics. He was like really, you know, but he didn't even have a title defense after winning that title. He vacated and moved up to 135 right away. And then that's when he started to fight the Ruelises and stuff like that, and Gennaro Hernandez, those guys. But I had said that he's fighting, and this is the way I termed it at the time. I said he was fighting at an artificial weight. He's fighting smaller because he's bigger, so he can have success against those guys, and he's going to naturally grow into being a bigger guy. In the meantime, he's always going to have some kind of advantage, whether it be size, strength, or power over these guys as he goes through these divisions. And that's exactly what happened. De La Hoya should have been a career 147 pounder. That's what he should have been. He's 5'11", and if you looked at him like when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez the very first time, he was filled out. That was his status. That was his stature and weight. But they milked it for as long as they could. Hell, Devin Haney stayed at 135 for a decade. When he turned pro, he was fighting at 135. Now he's getting ready to fight finally at 147. And it's probably going to turn out that he's going to be either 150 or 160 pounder easily. And that's probably where he should be. I'm not criticizing. I'm talking about the frame, the size of the man. So when he was fighting those guys at 135, and he's like, "You're too small. You're too small." Yeah, they were. So you see, there are things that factor in. James Toney was a middleweight champion. He moved up to super middleweight. Then he moved up to light heavyweight and then cruiserweight. And finally at heavyweight. But when he was in high school and going into college age level, he was 212 pounds. How many pounds is that away from middleweight? Middleweight is 160 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me he's 40 pounds heavier? Is it no wonder, hey, he was knocking people cold? Because he's a natural heavyweight. He's natural.
Yeah.
Natural. Now imagine, had he just trained and got in shape at heavyweight, he may not have started out with a heavy knockout ratio, but because of the skill set that he possessed and everything, he still would have been a damn good fighter. Because guess what? Chris Bird, who fought in the Olympics as a, 170 pounder, 75 pounder, something like that, 168, he was that. And they asked him when he turned pro to fight at heavyweight. So he was taking in all these extra carbs and all of that stuff and to blow himself up to 208 pounds and stuff like that. But Chris Bird was naturally a super middleweight / light heavyweight. Chris Bird. So he's kind of like the opposite of James Toney, you know?
Right.
But you see how they play with weights with these guys? It's freaking ridiculous.
Right.
But there's a way to do it correctly, and that's the way to have those guys with their walk-around weights. If you can't be within, I'll give them even 15 pounds. If you walk-around weight can't be within 15 pounds of the division, then you can't fight in that division. Because remember, it used to be only 8 weight classes. The junior weights and everything that help supplement it to push it up to damn near 16 weight divisions and all of that is like if you were 126 pounds, that's featherweight. The next weight up was lightweight, which is 135. The next weight up from that was welterweight, which is 147. The next weight up from that was middleweight, which is 160. The next weight up from that was light heavyweight, 175, and then heavyweight over 200. Now you see, you had guys who were in between those weights that they either had to fight the bigger dude or the smaller dude based on where they could make weight, right? So you had leverage in there. You had small guys fighting bigger guys at the same weight class, but it was more true. You didn't see these brain injuries and all of this kind of stuff because they didn't have, because you could have some guys that are naturally bigger in weight, but they're not necessarily a power puncher like that. So like an Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor fought at 140. But he could have possibly been a 135 pounder, true, because he wouldn't go up to 147. You understand? And
Yeah, because he was too small.
and Arguello moved up to fight him at 140. But it probably would have been a different fight at 135, wouldn't it? You see you see what I'm saying? So when you're playing with the weights, man, you have to know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope
Right.
I know I went a long way around what you had asked, but I just want you to understand, you know, it's not as cut and dried as what you said, banning this or that, but there's a way about making these guys fight where they should be, as opposed to you know where they have advantages.
Sure. No, I got what you're saying. Yep, I got you. So I appreciate the the long explanation. No, but yeah, I think I can see what you're saying, that the weight issue is not as black and white as many like myself would think, because there are a lot of fighters that should be fighting at their natural weight classes, but some are powerful than others.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Because I look at a guy like Julian Jackson. Yeah. Julian Jackson fought at 154 pounds. And he was like one of the most devastating punchers in boxing history, right? But then he moved up to middleweight. And even though he moved up to middleweight, he still didn't fight over 160. He was always right at 159 or whatever, because he was a well-conditioned guy. He stayed in good shape, took care of his body. But at 160, he was still a devastating puncher. When he fought Gerald McClellan, the reason that he had trouble with McClellan is because McClellan, who had the frame of a light heavyweight, could weigh in at 160, but would hydrate well over 160 plus, and closer to 172 or something like that. So that means that you take a guy like Julian Jackson, he's basically fighting a light heavyweight. You understand?
Right.
And so if he's fighting a light heavyweight, his punches might not have the same impact on that light heavyweight that they have on middleweights. And even he himself said after the first fight, when he lost to Gerald McClellan, he said, man, he's a big guy, because he hit Gerald, but Gerald never went down. Gerald talked about how hard Julian hit. He said, man, that dude's a hard puncher SOB. He was like, I got a headache so bad I think I could sleep for 3 days. That was what Gerald said about Julian Jackson and his punching power. And that was way before Nigel Benn fighting everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately, we know what happened after that. So, but yeah. But hey, Stormybman, I appreciate you accepting my call. Allowing me to, chop it up. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of stuff to do at the yard today. I got to start raking up the leaves and start trashing them up, and then getting all these dry leaves out of here before the winter comes around. So.
Yeah, when you get done with that, head on over here and get mine.
Yep. Thank you on the horizon, man. You know how it is in Chicago, and in Minneapolis, it ain't no different. So yeah.
I know. Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, brother. You have a good day, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Peace to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the brother Mahari Nation Sports Podcast calling in, giving us a chance to have a good conversation. I get back to my little boogie woogie. Let's talk about what's on the horizon for next week, man. Next week, the Ring 4, Benavidez versus Yard. This is going to be a very good fight card out of Riyadh season. Turki Al-Sheikh producing this outstanding card. We're going to have these two gentlemen as the main event. And this will be a night of great, potentially great fights. Yeah. David Benavidez is a man who has moved up from 168 pounds and now is the I think he's WBC interim champion. He's going to take on Anthony Yarde from the UK. It's a pretty damn good fight. For those of you who like to watch U.S. fighters, we got some other guys on that fight card. Jesse Bam Rodriguez is taking on Fernando Martinez, a young man who's 18-0 out of Argentina, another Argentinian fighter. He's got 9 KOs. He's 34 years of age. And it could be a barn burner, or Bam might just go through this guy like he's done so many others. Bam has been really performing at a high level. This will be for the super flyweight WBC, WBO titles that Bam currently holds on to. I look forward to seeing Bam because he's like a modern version of, dare I say, Salvador Sanchez. He's just a little bitty guy that's beating up on people, man. This is good stuff. I like him. So, but headlined by Benavidez and Yarde. Benavidez is the favorite against Yarde, and rightfully so. But Benavidez doesn't need to let Yarde hit him too much because Yarde can pop. But Yarde is lacking in the boxing department. I think that, if anything, this is going to be reminiscent of Benavidez against Boo Boo Andrade, with the exception of Andrade is a southpaw and Yarde is an orthodox fighter. At some point, Yarde is going to show Benavidez a little too much respect, or not have that which he could show him as far as disrespect. And that's going to culminate in some questions being unanswered. I really believe that that's going to be the story and byline for that fight. When we talk about Abdullah Mason in a lightweight title fight for the WBO, he's going to be taking on the UK Sam Noakes. And Noakes is a fighter who has looked for his opportunity. He's 28 years of age, undefeated with 17 wins and 15 KOs. Both he and Abdullah are entering a bout where they're both going to be tested in the likes of how they've never been tested before. The veteran in Noakes, what you have to look at is his heart and determination are going to be something that Abdullah, he shouldn't just look at him and say, oh, I'm going to beat this Caucasian guy. He's going to have to win through his abilities, his natural skill and abilities. And we're going to find out if the 21-year-old Mason is up for the challenge. We know that he is definitely a good fighter at 19-0 with 17 KOs, almost like a prodigy. But is it too much too soon for him? We'll find out. Now, if Noakes was taking on the former WBO title holder, Keyshawn Davis, I would have Davis heavily favored in this. But Davis blew his opportunity. So in steps Abdullah Mason. A good fight with both men. There are some aspects of this that are just great to look at because, again, these are fighters who are coming in with not only fanfare, but there's a sense of hope for both sides. Now, Noakes has 50, not Noakes, Mason has 59 rounds that he has boxed. And Noakes has boxed 80 rounds as a professional. That could become a factor too, especially if the fight goes late and deep. In 12 rounds, will Mason have the wherewithal? Will his dad and his team be able to coach him through tight spots and everything? That may be an area where Noakes has advantages as well. So it's something to be seen here. You know, we have to talk about this being something to tune into. Yeah. And of course, the Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney WBO welterweight title fight. Haney is now 27. Norman Jr. is 24. That's not a huge difference in age, but there could be a huge difference in experience. Haney, who's had 33 fights and 15 KOs. He's boxed 234 rounds. That's a lot of round experience. Now, Norman Jr. has boxed 100 rounds and has a record of 28 wins and 22 KOs, no defeats. These two are going to test each other with fortitude. That's where it's really going to come into play. I don't think the power, I don't think the boxing ability, I think it's going to come into fortitude between these two young men, and I think that they are going to have to show the other something that they didn't think the other could do against them. That's the story byline there. But I love the fact that they're facing one another. This is great stuff. We might even get a couple of fights out of this particular matchup, which I wouldn't be mad at. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. So, you talk about Riyadh season, man, they put on the matches over there. Turkey don't be playing. Vito Melnicki Jr. is fighting, and he's going in there against a gentleman by the name of Samuel Imoma, who's from Nigeria, a good fighter who's coming out of Nigeria with a record of 21-0, but he only has 5 KOs. He's boxed 122 rounds. He's 28 years of age, and Vito, who is 23, nicknamed White Magic, he's boxed 119 rounds. Vito's record is 21 wins, 1 loss, 12 KOs. 1 no contest. And that loss is to James Martin, where he lost a majority decision. That was back in April of 2021. So White Magic from Jersey is going in, and hey, he wants to put on a show. We'll see what happens. Vito got that Rocky Balboa look, those little doe eyes. We'll see what he has for Samuel. But again, another good fight, because having boxed 119 rounds as a professional, that's not too bad for him, and he's 23. He's 6 foot tall with a 70-inch reach. Samuel is 5'11 and a half. And like I said, only 122 rounds. So it's going to be a good fight. I like this stuff, man, because again, we need to see fighters competing and in competitive matches. I ain't mad at it at all. So just look at it like this, you guys. We got some good fights on the horizon, and there's going to be some throwing down, huh? I love it. I love it, man. So yeah, buddy. So that's next week. I think most of my premieres for next week will be regarding the undercard and main event for this Ring 4. We got to give the fighters their just due, you know. To promote the fight card. It's important that we do that, show that support. Yep. So which one of the fights are you guys most interested in on that card? Because it's going to be something else. I'm telling you, it's going to be something else, bro. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. I actually made it through. I guess the call from Abel helped energize me to push through, but I still don't feel too good. Man. But I appreciate everybody showing support. And for those of you who went over to Rumble, thank you so much. Because we had some guys over there. I refreshed the page and it's not showing me who was over there. But I know we had Nada over there. We had EJ over there. Bernard. EJ says Haney versus Norman is what I'm looking forward to most. Yeah. Okay. Nada says Devin versus Norman. Del Real says Mason versus Noakes. Hey, that Mason versus Noakes, and tell them, Del Real, that's the fight people are going to be sleeping on, right? But that little doggone Bam Rodriguez, man, he seems to show us with every outing how good he is more and more. When he fights, he shows us how good he truly is. Snoopy Mac over there at Rumble. Universal says Devin. Yeah, okay. I like how things look over here at Rumble, though. I really do. Snoopy Mac says Rumble is to be my new hangout. Hey, man, I'm liking it. Once I learn how to navigate over here properly and everything, I'm a fan of it. I'm gonna tell you. I like the graphics too. Hey, Nada, I appreciate you reposting the video. Thank you. See, I get notices when you guys do stuff like that. I get notices. And this is how I know when certain people, you know, when they do it, and as opposed to not doing it, you know, I don't just be complaining, guys. I be telling you exactly what my observations are. I appreciate you all pushing the likes up to almost 50. It's 46. It should be well over that, though. But at the same time, I'll take what you guys give me because I know that you could give more. I know that you can give more. So, but we're going to get on out of here. I'm going to try to recover and recoup myself. And give my brother Drew Titan a shout out. Today is his birthday. He turns 105 today, so make sure that you send plenty of Bengay and what's that, Pedialyte, and what's that other stuff that they get for them old folks? Absorbine Junior and all of that stuff. Make sure you give him some salve, icy hot, all that stuff for birthday package. Yeah! To make sure the young man, know what it feels like to be reaching that century mark, or half century mark. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Watch for those premieres this week because we're going to break it down for the Ring 4 card here, man. This is going to be a hell of an event. Can't miss it. Got to see some people get bashed to bits, as they say in the UK, on this card. But yeah, appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Yeah.
If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, because he never got off
You
steroids.
think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
All those fucking dudes in that camp.
All gonna be the same.
I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. I hit Crawford, but no clean shots, like with all my power. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He knows how to move and everything.
Oh, what a nice day. Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the... Oh, my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. She can't swim. Go help the Jessica, run. Jessica, no. Oh, my God. No, Jessica. No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up. She can't swim. Jessica, no. Lifeguard, please save her. Yes, two lifeguards. Save her, no. Please, Jessica. Oh, look, hey. Is that everybody's coming? Oh, you want to Hey, please, save her. Jessica, they're coming now. They're here, Jessica.